MyMac Podcast 852, The Randoms.
Hi everyone and welcome to this week's mighty MyMac podcast with Guy and Gaz. Yes, Guy, you heard right. Guy has returned from I'm not the
only one that can't sing.
That was shortened. Yeah, Walton country ablaze with success after banging multiple mooses, meeces, lots of plural moose. So no matter what he says after this, he's obviously lying. Yes. WWDC 21 starts on Monday, which is probably when most people will hear this podcast. So there's no real point in speculating much about what it'll be all about. So a few random things will be thrown in instead, and I'm going to throw it over to Guy to start us off because he's back, everyone.
Yeah,
he's back.
Yeah.
And before he is back, actually, I'd just like to say thanks to Carl for joining me last week.
Yes.
As always, we always enjoy having Carl on the show.
And I wasn't insulted at all. No, it was fine. Everything was wonderful. Carl. He actually contacted me after that show came out, asking me some questions about microphones.
Wow.
And it was only because of my love of microphones that I was able to get through the anger gas from last week's show.
Well, let's start with that then. What mic is Guy using today?
Actually, the mic I'm using today is one I think you used either the last time or the time before that when we recorded the show. And yes, it sounded good.
It wasn't last time because last week with Carl, I'd used the Rode Podcaster. So it was the week before then.
Okay. Well, I liked it so much that I accidentally bought one of my own. The AKG D5 handheld dynamic. It's not a condenser, Guy. It's a dynamic microphone. And here it is right here. It is a beautiful microphone. I really, really like it. Now,
cool.
First off, Gaz, I'm not lying. I was in Ohio.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
And I'm also, and here we go. I was having an issue with my M1 Mac Mini where it suddenly crashes and restarts. And the reason why that has just now come up is 30 seconds before we were going to start the show this week, it crashed and restarted. Now I'm running the 11.5 Big Sur beta, which I've now stopped doing. I'm still running it, but I've turned off the, having this Mac in the beta program.
Good.
Yeah, but of course it doesn't matter because I now in theory I can revert back to like 11.4, but it would take a lot of work to do it. And with WWDC being on Monday, they're probably going to release the full version of 11.5 then. So I'll just get it then and have it be over this beta. The main reason why I went to the beta program in the first place is all of the problems I was having with Bluetooth.
I'm sorry, Guy, but
that's just plain old silly.
Yeah, it was. And not the brightest thing that I've done. But in my defense, I was having problems with mice and keyboards. And I mean, every single thing that connected via Bluetooth was just not working when I first got this machine and I was running the Big Sur beta. So that was why I started doing it.
Are you going to now stop and save at every section? Are you going to
I do that anyway.
No.
Now,
I mean every subsection.
I know. It'd be like, Gas is about to say a word. Hold on. Stop and save.
Yeah.
That problem, because you're recording audio as well.
I am recording audio. Yes.
Right. So that should, and plus, now we use StreamYard to record the video. So hopefully that will also be, fingers crossed, while I love those things while this is all going on. Now, what you can't see is I just did a heart with my fingers. All right. So see, this is the kind of stuff that you get if you look at the video of this show, which almost none of you do. So why I go through all the trouble of doing it,
I have no idea, folks. I have no idea why he does it.
what was I just doing?
You
can't tell because you haven't
can't
watched
tell.
the video.
Absolutely. Well, I'm not going to tell him.
Yeah, and the other thing I could do is no, I won't do that.
No, don't do that.
I'll be a good boy.
You be a good
What about
boy.
you? What have you got going on?
I've not used MyMac much this week, or mush this week.
I need to interrupt for just a second.
Go
when
on.
you and Carl were doing the show last week, and you said that, what I'm doing on my Mac, and you actually emphasized my Mac. I was in the car,
and you went
driving home, and I went, ooh, 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 and I was expecting Carl to go, ooh, 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 and he didn't. So it was again one of those things. It was like, where is it?
Well, if you listen to the end, we'd had a little bit where I said I play with your mind, and it's bits like that, the OCD stuff, which jump in, and Carl agreed that he can't not miss bits off that he plays on a weekly basis. So it's not just you. Well, it's been a holiday week here in the UK, a school holiday week. So as Mrs. G works in school, she's been at home. So I haven't spent much time in front of my Mac. I went out for a run earlier in the week, which was a bit of a mistake, as it was a few days after my second COVID jab. And I think it affected my calves, as they were really painful. And actually, they're still hurting today. So I've done no bike riding this week either. Next week, I'm going to be on Mike Potter's Reaction Time pod, as he's doing a show to follow the WWDC keynote. Ooh. And I don't know if you met. I'm going to carry this on for a bit, Guy, until I get told
go ahead.
to. So last week I told you about why the OS maps here in the UK started. So I'm going to carry on. Following on from the Scottish Rebellion, a young engineer called William Roy, who was tasked with an initial small-scale military survey of Scotland, starting in 1747. If you remember, that rebellion was in 1745. It took 8 years to complete and was known as the Great Map at a scale of 1 to 36,000, or that's 1.75 inches to a mile. Roads, hills, rivers, types of land cover and settlements were recorded. William Roy described it as a rather magnificent military sketch rather than a very accurate map of the country.
Well, it's at 1 to 36,000.
Yeah.
In the late 1700s.
Yeah, well, there you go.
I don't think he has anything to apologize for.
Well, his surveying parties of about 8 relied on simple surveying compasses to measure the angles and chains up to 50 feet long. I think a chain is 50 feet long. Yes, I think so. That's right.
Was that a standard
measurement? Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's still known today, I think, to measure distance between important features. Much of the rest was sketched in by eye. Nevertheless, the map was a powerful tool as part of a broader strategy to open up access to the Highlands. And I'll carry on with the next bit next week. And this all really goes on the back of really the question about what I'm using
ordnance
to
maps
do
from
my
last
bikes.
week. Yeah.
So, and as you've done it, I'll do it again. We're going to go over to Gaz's snippets. Hey. So, Guy, Apple wanted to buy Rap Battle Series The Zeus. Of course they did. Of course they did.
The only words I understood there were Apple wanted to buy.
Yeah. Intel versus Apple. Chipmaker's latest attack scores an own goal. Don't know if you saw this, Guy. Don't know if you saw this, but they did a comparison between PC gaming machines and the Mac gaming machines. The only thing was they used the Intel version of the Macs to do the comparison with, apparently. Brilliant. Now, this I found quite surprising. Tim Cook only ranks 171st out of the 500 in CEO pay and compensation table. Now,
He's
I'd
vastly
like to know.
underpaid.
I'd like to know why all of those other boards are paying their CEOs more than Tim Cook when Tim Cook runs a company which is more valuable than anybody else.
Oh, he's more valuable than almost all of them put together.
Yeah. So boards around, especially in America, which is probably where this comes from.
People
you're paying your
way
people
too
too
much. You know,
Brilliant.
You know how you were just saying that chains is a standard of measurement?
Yeah.
There should be a new standard called the Cook, okay? Where it's the value that you pay a CEO versus how much the company is actually worth.
We're paying him 3 cooks.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. We're not 3 apples.
He's worth half a cook at best.
Yeah, the quarter cook.
Short order cook.
Spotify legal chief Horatio Gutierrez. I said that in my head a minute ago perfectly well, and then it came out all wrong. Likes Apple products, but calls the company a disingenuous bully.
Well, of course he does.
Of course he does.
How many cooks does he get paid?
Well, I'm not saying.
Yeah.
iPhone 13 series could feature up to, now this is the good news, right? Okay. iPhone 13 series could feature up to 18% increase in battery capacities, rumor says. Yeah, but
Is
then I saw the next
or capabilities.
Capacities, battery capacities, increase of 18% increase in battery capacities. Right, that's a rumor.
Okay, so bigger batteries, right?
Or more efficient batteries, possibly. But then the next story I read was some iPhone users report excess battery drain on iOS 14.6, and I thought, I wonder if the previous story has any relationship to.
Probably written by the same doofus.
Yeah. Apple TV expands availability on Android TV to NVIDIA Shield ahead of Ted Lasso's return. So Ted Lasso's got a lot to answer for.
He does. How dare you, Ted? How dare you?
Today, Apple celebrates Black Music Month in sessions with the National Museum of African American Music. Apple has that happened last week. Apple announced finalists for the 2021 Apple Design. Now, I'm just going to go to the website here. I didn't put them all in because there are sections such as inclusivity, delight and fun, interaction and social impact, visual and graphics, and innovation. I won't say who's been nominated in them because obviously the winners will come out next week at some point.
Yeah.
Apple
this is not the Oscars.
It's not. Apple are to delay the launch of podcast subscription service until June. Some people would say yay. Other people would go,
And more people would say, why did you do it in the first place?
Well, they would. Apple trademarks hint that this I just put this in because it made me laugh. Apple trademarks hint that macOS 12 could be called Mammoth or Monterey. Or it could be called a Mammoth Monterey.
Yeah.
A Monterey Mammoth.
Professor Fuzzy Boots. That's what I heard.
This from Bloomberg. The Apple car team loses several top managers, but still actively recruiting new hires. So what does that tell us? What does that tell us, Bloomberg?
That tells us something in between a whole lot and a crap
great
ton
deal
of nothing.
A whole lot of crap ton of nothing.
Yes.
Spotify for iOS adds new Only You feature for personalized playlists and more. So they're still developing. They're still enjoying their app being on the.
But that's got to be Spotify music that you get through them, not through your own personal library.
Probably,
I don't think they can access. I don't think they can access your personal library.
Okay, Apple gets.
Oh, here comes my favorite part right now.
Apple gets seedy. They have seeded the second beta. Don't do it, guy of tvOS 14.7. They've seeded the beta of the watchOS 7.6, the beta of macOS Big Sur 11.5. And iOS and iPadOS 14.7, all to developers. I wonder
Now,
why.
I do get the iPad OS beta because it doesn't matter really. If something doesn't work, then it's just like okay. But the fact that MyMac is having its issues is maddening to me.
You mustn't do it on your only machine, Guy.
I know.
A European.
It's actually not my only machine. I've got another Mac Mini, but that goes back to 2012.
You're not helping. You're not helping yourself. You're not helping yourself.
I know. I'm not.
Snippets. Let Gaz move on.
Please. I want to spend the next half hour talking
Will you let
about
me
an
finish?
old Mac Mini. Yes.
European Consumer Group joins the EU antitrust case against Apple. Well, they would, wouldn't they?
Of course they would. No, they're going to say, no, we're going to sit on the sidelines. No. We're not going to get involved in this.
Apparently, an Apple Home OS mentioned in job listing ahead of WWDC. Interesting. Where we interesting?
I think that's going to become. I think TV OS is going to go away, and Home OS is what's going to take its place.
You could well be right. Apple has redesigned the Apple Music website for artists. Apple has also highlighted benefits of the Wallet app, Apple Pay, and Apple Cash on new web pages. So they've been doing lots of updates to their web pages. Apple employees have been asked to return to offices for 3 days a week starting in September. Now it's June, July, August, September. I'll come back to this. Apple has used more suppliers from China than Taiwan for the first time, data has shown.
Just in time to regret it.
Yeah. Now, I've been and lost my spot now. There we go. Apple to announce redesigned Fortnite. Why did I put this in? Oh, I know why I put this in. Because I know why. Wedbush. Apple to announce redesigned 14-inch and 16-inch MacBook Pro at WWDC, says Wedbush. iPhone 13.
Got to use that for something.
iPhone 13 again rumored to feature a 1 terabyte storage option and LiDAR for all models. Rumor. I think we'll probably know a little bit more after WWDC on that. Don't normally do rumors, but I think a lot will be cleared up this week. Now, this made me laugh. There is official Ted Lasso merch coming in a few weeks, but apparently you'll have to wait longer to buy the Richmond jerseys. Wow. It's
a
fictional football team. It's a fictional football team.
To consult with all the team managers first.
Incredible.
Go Richmond. That's all I got to say. That's
Absolutely.
My favorite team.
Satechi launches aluminium stand and hub for iPad Pro and Air with 6 ports, foldable design. Reason I pop that in because we're getting very close to the sort of process with having a dock that you're talking about with the phone. Now I know this is iPad, but it's not far off, is it? Not far off.
It is not.
Apparently, Johnny
You'll be able to hook all that stuff up to a mouse, keyboard, and monitor. Just
kaboosh. Apparently, Johnny, and there's another point coming up in a few items actually which kind of reiterates that as well.
Is it snippety?
Snippety.
It's snippety.
Johnny Ive apparently recruited 4 former Apple design colleagues to Love From, which is his company. Well, that's not a big surprise, is it? No, if it's only 4, they don't think much of him.
Former.
Do they?
No,
and former.
Apple was like, it's like, we're going to get rid of you guys. And then Johnny Ive's like, I'll take them because
who wouldn't?
Yeah.
Well,
thin. Everything is thin.
I like this again. This is another rumor, but the reason I put this in because I like this if this is going to happen. iPad mini with slimmer bezels. You say bezels, I say bezels, and no home button coming later this year. If that is a rumor, but if it's true, I like that. My daughter uses her iPad mini all the time.
You could use some updating too.
Yeah. Apple Music coming to Mercedes-Benz MBUX infotainment system. Well, if I could afford a Mercedes-Benz, I'd be happy about that.
Just use CarPlay, Mercedes. Just use CarPlay.
15% of US adults are now mobile-only internet users. With reference to what we were talking about before, that
While
means
85% of children are mobile-only internet users.
But again, going back to using that as your own computer, plugging it in, keyboard, etc. Could be. Now, I put this in for Mike Potter. I know he doesn't listen, but I put it in for him anyway. Who Are You, Charlie Brown, coming to Apple TV Plus on June 25th. I tell you what, we've been watching a few things on Apple TV recently. We've been watching a few more.
Are you saying that Mike Brown reminds you of Charlie Brown? Not Mike Brown, Mike Potter.
Mike Potter. No, it doesn't.
Okay, just checking. See, I couldn't even get his name right.
An iPhone 12 Pro apparently was rescued from the bottom of the Berlin Canal via MagSafe. You know these people that go magnet fishing?
Yeah.
I think that's what happened there.
Okay.
At least one new MacBook with Apple Silicon likely at WWDC, says Morgan Stanley analyst guy. These analysts, they know it all, don't they? Yep, you're beeping. iOS 14 now installed on 90%. iOS 14, 90% of phones released in the last 4 years. That's
not a surprise.
It's quite a good proportion. Apple Maps vehicles begin collecting look around imagery in the Czech Republic. Well done, Czech Republic. And finally, Apple staff have complained about the plans for the return to office work in a letter to Tim Cook.
Did each one of them write a letter, or was this like a collective letter?
I think it was one of those collective letters. It's almost like a union.
Go back to work.
I didn't think you had unions.
What's wrong with you?
There. That is the end of Gaz's snippets. Now, I don't have any links this week. I put the Ordnance Survey link in there, the history, so people can follow it if they want to, but there's no other links from me this week. So, Guy, if you'd like to, you can take us out so you can do a stop and save.
Yeah, before everything just goes to complete hell.
Kaboom!
Kaboom! Everyone, please stand by. And Gaz and I, we will, oh God, yes, assuming that nothing bad really happens, we'll be right back.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to part 2 of the mighty MyMac podcast. And yes, this is going to be completely and utterly random, isn't it, Guy? Hence
yes, except for all the stuff that I wrote down.
It's randomly written.
Yes. Disjointed words that make no sense when put together.
Which make no sense to anybody, including
you. Well, yeah. I figured I would just, and here's a fun thing that you can do sometime. You know that as you do voice texts in messages, and you'll get like a, what Siri thinks could be your top 3 choices of whatever it is that you're trying to say. Just hit those at random and send that to someone, and you can have some very interesting conversations back and forth. But you have to have both people playing the game at the same time for it to be really fun.
Yes.
Anyway, that's random number 1. Random 1. But the big random. We have talked in the past, Gaz, about Apple Maps.
We have.
And when Apple Maps first came out, let's just say it had issues. Let's be kind and say that it had a few issues.
Yes.
But over the course of a few years, it has actually become a very, very good navigational application. And I like to use it because in the past, what I have found is that its spoken search capabilities are much better than what I have found in Google Maps or Waze.
Okay, cool.
However, I typically have used Waze while going long distances because it gives me better information on road conditions as I'm going down.
Right.
So this time when I was going to Ohio, I decided I was going to do an experiment. I was going to use Apple Maps on my way to Ohio. Oh, sorry, Waltonville.
Walton.
And Walton. Is it Waltonville or what was the name of the? Doesn't matter. It doesn't
matter.
Doesn't even matter. Ohio. I was going to Ohio. And I've gone there so many times since, God, 25 years, maybe longer than that, that it's not like I need a GPS app to get me there. I know exactly how to get there through multiple different ways because I don't take the Pennsylvania Turnpike anymore because the Pennsylvania Turnpike sucks. Sucks, Gaz. Sucks hard rocks. That's what it does. So that has absolutely nothing to do with anything I was talking about. One of the things that I do like about these GPS apps on the phone. Now, this is of course connected up through CarPlay in my Kia Soul. So I've got this nice 6-7 inch multicolor display touchscreen that I can bring up podcasts, I can bring up music, I can bring up navigation, all of these different things. And I would not buy a car. I've said this before. I will not buy a car in the future if it doesn't have CarPlay. So using Apple Maps. Now, one of the things that Apple Maps has added recently is similar to what Waze does, where you can put in road conditions. So you can tell it when there's heavy traffic coming up, or maybe it guesses that. But you can also put in things like if there's an accident on the highway, if there's some kind of road hazard, or if the police are nearby. Now, Waze does this as well. Waze actually does this better in many ways because it offers...
Well, it's been doing it longer as well.
Well, not any longer, but it offers many more choices. So if you've got a hazard on the road, you hit, hazard. It'll say, well, what side of the road is it on? Is it in the road? What type of hazard is it? You get all this granular control.
Meanwhile, while you're trying to understand and click all those buttons, you've had an accident yourself.
You are right into a concrete barrier. So it's like, oh, you've just had an accident. Click. There it is. Right there. But it does give you a lot more information. Now, unfortunately, that also means that Waze has a lot of different graphics that can make the interface, even on CarPlay, look really, really busy. And one of the things that I have yet to be able to figure out what it means, and I think it means, or it's supposed to reflect the emotional states of the other people that are on the road using Waze around you. You'll see all these little emojis. You'll see people smiling. You'll see people unhappy. You'll see people crying. Well, not really people, just this like little round thing with a face on it.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it is, but I'm not sure. And I'm not really sure on how to tell it what my current emotional state is without hitting the concrete barrier or the truck that was just in front of me. Which, of course, then you go, sad face. I've just hit a truck. Oh. So, and you can do all of this on screen. You don't have to pull up your phone and do anything. With both Waze and Apple Maps, there's usually just like a little button that you hit, and then you tell it, well, this condition here, this condition there. Or if you see a previously reported accident or road hazard, you just hit, okay, still there, click, and you just keep rolling down the road. So they're both very good at that.
We haven't got that on the Apple side yet. We're still waiting.
Not yet. You do have accident, hazard, and what instead of saying police, it says speed check. So, and that's it. Those are the only three that you have.
Yeah, but we don't have them in the UK. We don't have those on Apple Maps in the UK yet.
I don't know if that's in the beta, if that's in the currently released version.
It might come out in the UK and other places, but it's not with us yet that I'm aware of.
Okay.
But I am looking forward to that because I use Apple Maps all the time. I don't use Waze at all, but I know I am waiting for that to come because that side of Waze I always found really useful.
Oh, it's so handy. Now you can also use. Whoops, sorry. You can also use both of these. Just lost my earpiece. You can use both of these to pull up things like food stops, closest rest stops, gas, all the rest of that, and those are quite handy as well. So, and they both have voice commands. So with Apple Maps, you can hit whatever the S Lady button is in your car and say, "Hey, S Lady, where's the next road stop? Where's the next gasoline station? Where's the next Burger King?" or whatever it is that you're looking for. S Lady will know that you are currently heading west on Interstate 68 and will give you those things that are in front of you and not give you the things that are behind you, which is what it used to do before. I remember one time, I know this is completely off topic. My wife and I were going someplace, and we both had a hankering, Gaz. We had a hankering for some Arby's roast beef sandwiches and potato cakes and Jamocha milkshakes, which are just so good, but that's completely off the topic. And so I asked S Lady, I said, "Well, where's the nearest Arby's?" And there wasn't one close by. However, she did tell me about ones that were in the complete opposite direction, more than 100 miles away. And I was like, "Oh, gee, thanks. Quite helpful that is." But she's much more accurate now, knows what direction you're going in and the stuff that's going to be in front of you.
Cool.
Doesn't show it on the map that I could see. Waze will, depending on how you have your setup configured. Now with Waze, at least the way that it works in my car, you can't hit the remote button for S Lady, speak into it, and have it work in Waze. You have to hit the little button in the application that says, "Listen to my voice." Right. And then it'll, assuming you've given Waze permission to work with the microphone within your iPhone, then it'll hear it and it'll give you the information that you want. But they both work very, very well in those particular senses. And using Apple Maps for looking for this kind of information that I was getting with Waze was kind of a frustrating experience. Not because it didn't work well, but because currently very few people are using it.
Yeah.
So you didn't get you're traveling down the road and you got Waze going. You've got 14 people that are saying, "Well, there's an accident just up ahead there at mile marker 14. It's like, oh, okay. So you know about it long in advance. But with Apple Maps, because I guess either not people aren't either using it yet, don't have it available to them yet, or don't know about it.
Yeah. What they're saying is there's a taxi service at mile marker 14 because they haven't understood how to use it yet.
Yeah. So, and then on my way home, I used Waze.
Yeah.
And
now,
go ahead.
Tell me one thing, because there's one thing with Apple Maps which really frustrates me, and that's having waypoints. I hate not having the ability to have waypoints because very often because very often when we're going on trips, we'll go, well, we're going to go here, but while we go there, we're going to pop over to here and pop over to here. And not having waypoints, I don't know whether Waze does that or not. I can't remember. That is a real kicker for me. If they bring that in, then I'll be very happy with Apple Maps.
You can within the application on your phone.
On Waze?
Both with Waze and Apple Maps.
No, I don't think you can with Apple Maps. Not in the UK. You carry on, and I'll try.
Maybe not in the UK yet.
You carry on, and
but
I'll
you can't do it.
Now, hang on a minute.
The Maps application on the Mac.
No, on Apple Maps you can have waypoints like, would you like to go to a cafe? Would you like? But you can't put points that you'd like to go to.
Right.
So there's a slight difference there. Yeah.
As I bring up Maps. Okay, because typically when you say you want to find directions, it gives you what is your starting point, what is your stopping point, and you can't add anything else.
No, and that's
Whereas,
the problem.
yeah, and that's in the Mac app. Now, if you go to the maps.google.com, you can have multiple.
Yeah, but
things.
we're not talking about Google. We're talking about Apple Maps and Waze.
Right, but Waze works off of Google Maps.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That's why. Okay, forget Waze for the time being. Okay. Because as I said, I'm not sure whether Waze has waypoints. I think it might have, so I'm not too worried about that.
It does.
What I want
Or at least
Apple
here
Maps,
it does.
what I want Apple Maps to do is do exactly the same. Have waypoints. Now, I'm pretty sure that you can have points of interest like cafeterias and stuff like that. I think you can add those in, which I think I found. But being able to have waypoints that I want to put in currently on Apple Maps, you can't do. And I think
so you want to go to Brighton, but you want to stop in London first. You can't do that.
Yeah.
But what you can do is you tell it you want to go to Brighton, and then you tell it you want to go to some cafeteria that's near where you want to go to in London. That you can do, which it doesn't answer the question.
No,
and it's not really very useful.
Okay. Anyway.
But that's basically what I've found. One of the and frankly, Apple needs to up their game even more when it comes to maps. And I would like to see in the application the ability to have multiple places that you want to go to, because typically when I'm going to use Apple Maps, and especially if it's someplace I haven't gone to before, I will load the application on my computer and say, okay, I want to go from Salt Lake City to my mother-in-law's house in Boise, Idaho. But maybe on the way, there's this other place that I want to check out because it's about a 5-hour drive. So I want to see, this cavern, or I want to see this tourist place, or whatever it is. Can't do it. It won't let you do it. And I would like to be able to do that in Apple Maps, in the application on the Mac, or in the application on the phone.
Yeah.
And so that's something that I hope they're going to add in the future. Now, overall, when we're talking about Waze versus Apple Maps, they're both very, very good. However, the nod still goes to Waze for just the sheer amount of people that use it and its reporting features over what's currently in Apple Maps. Would you agree with that? Make sure I had it ready. Oh, look, he's nodding his head.
Hit it. Gaz's tips.
Mostly.
Gaz's tips.
Mostly.
Gaz's tips.
It's time for
Gaz's tip. Okay, so I know that I've mentioned this before, but the help menu in macOS is great at showing you where something can be found in the menu bar. So you go up to help on the menu bar, and in there is a search option. So start typing the action that you're looking for, and it will highlight the menu and puts a ruddy great blue arrow next to the action for you. I'm in Pages at the moment. I'm going to type in highlight. And there's 3 options. It says remove highlights, which if I hover over it, I can click on that and it'll take me directly to the action. But it's also opened up the menu under edit, and it's got a slightly hovering arrow telling me where it is. Or I can click highlight rather than remove highlights, highlight and conditional highlighting. And so just go in there and use the help menu in many applications. It's not just Pages for this. It could be any of the help options in Mac OS. It really is useful, and it really does highlight exactly where you need to go. Now, a very quick one as well. Let's make sure I get this right, because I did try this. So when you're going to save as or save in an application, and you get the save menu come up, where it comes up with the option as to where you go. So really it's when you go save as. If you press Command R when a file is selected in the open path, then an app opens the Finder location for that item. So it's a bit odd, because then I think I got this right. Let me just see if I can try this. Let me go duplicate this, and then go file, save as.
Meow.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I'll come back to that tip. The other tip was fine, but actually, when you're in, because
Good enough.
I needed to check that more. I thought I'd done that previously about a week ago, but basically, it's when you're in the file select. So what I've said is Command R. When the file select is selected in the open path of an app, it opens the Finder location for that item. Yeah, so it is when you're actually in the
Right.
in the application, and you're looking
then
for
it goes
a file.
to the Finder.
Yeah, and if you want to open the Finder window to where that item is, it'll actually open the Finder window location for that application. Because very often you've got an item which is open, and you'll think, where am I saving this? Where did I open it? Because it's like Pages, for example. If I go open recent, it just tells me the files that I've opened recently. Well, it doesn't then tell me where the hell it is.
Where they are. Right.
That's right. So Command R.
I hate when that happens.
I got there in the end. I'm nodding my head, and I think actually,
Oops, sorry.
I was going
a premature.
It was a premature. It was a premature hit it. I would say, Guy, that after this, you should do a stop and save, because we don't want to lose all what we've just gone through.
I know. Well, we will then. So
nodding my head.
Me too.
Hit it. That's the end of Gaz's tips. That's the end of Gaz's tips. That's the end of Gaz's tips.
Is that the end of the tip?
Will you let me finish? You see, I wanted to say
stuck up, half-witted, scruffy-looking nerf herder.
Right.
Nerf herder.
I wanted to say that in the tip section because it was a bit of a tip for you, you see.
Gaz, you've got a point.
Exactly. All right. Everyone, hold on for just a moment. Save before something horrible happens. So we're back.
Yes. You hardly noticed, did you? You hardly noticed, people. We didn't want to lose all of that and go through that again, because Guy would have cried.
I would have. Well, I move to tears quite often. Speaking of that, I'm going to admit something embarrassing here.
No,
just because I think it's funny.
What? Ready?
I was surfing on YouTube, and I came across a song from The Little Mermaid of all movies. And it's the whole, which she's in the pirate ship. She says, "Don't you think my collection's complete?" Talking about wanting to be part of that world kind of thing. And I don't know why I was moved to tears by that song. I don't know why. Like I said, it's a little embarrassing, but it triggered something. And I'm glad that you could scan YouTube and be moved to tears.
It's a revelation.
It usually moves me to other bodily functions.
Yes.
But I just thought that was so weird that happened. And I wanted to share it with all of our wonderful people that listen to this show, even though it's completely random and has nothing to do with anything else.
Wow.
Well, okay. I make fun of flat earthers and people occasionally from Germany.
We don't make fun of flat earthers. They're idiots.
Oh, well, that's true. It's kind of like you would say you're an idiot, and they'd be like, "Huh?"
Talking about flat earthers.
Oh, yes.
Did we get some feedback, which I'm not sure whether we've played or not, but so just in case we haven't played it,
we're going to play it again, or maybe for the first time.
Or maybe ever. For the first time.
We'll find out in just a minute.
Hello. I was listening to the Mac show this week. Yes. I think it was called MyMac. Yes.
Absolutely correct.
And they told me that the Earth was flat. Oh, I didn't know that.
I don't think we said that.
I think that's what they said.
No.
Very educational, the MyMac show.
That is the only bit of feedback that we got from all of you people who may or may not be flat earthers. And I have to tell you, along with songs sung by fictional mermaids brings me to tears. You knew I'd bring it back around. somehow.
I knew you bring it back around. Would you like me?
Just none of them contacted us, guys.
Well, I'm kind of glad, really.
Yeah.
We did have some feedback actually from James this week. Oh, good old Jimmy. Would you
like him.
Would you like to hear what he said?
That's a terrible accent for me, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes, I'd like to hear.
I heard that.
I'll play it again.
I heard that Guy was a singer. I've got some clothes he can repair. MyMac podcast with Guy and Gaz.
Now, for those of you, maybe
you're going to have to explain that a little bit.
For those of you that might not have caught it quite, because I'm glad that he just bursts it through rather than having to slow it down for you Americans. He said, I heard that Guy was a singer. Okay. Now, there used to be a manufacturer of sewing machines by the name of Singer.
I think
so
Jim
mentioned it still is, yeah. So Jim mentioned that he'd got some clothes that you could repair for him, Guy. Thank you, Jim.
And
we love
is
it.
wrong in both cases.
Is he?
He
Why?
is. I am not a singer, nor do I repair clothes.
So put that in your pipe, Jim, and smoke it.
Yeah, but thank you for sending that in. We also got two other comments.
Well, I mentioned these two last week, didn't I? And I said I didn't want to play them. I wanted you to be here when you played them as well.
So I mean, we are commentlicious this week.
Commentlicious.
I am going to say that's a word.
It is a word.
Yeah, it is now. Now it's a word. And if you look it up on the internet, you probably will have trouble finding it. But moving on, we did get a call. Guess who this is from, Gaz?
Hey guys, this is Greg from North Carolina. I was listening to the most recent MyMac podcast, and close to the end, Guy, you said that Gaz knew exactly the buttons to push to drive you insane.
He does.
This leaves me with a question. If someone were to drive Guy insane, how would we know? Thanks a lot, guys. Great show.
It's true. There would be little to no difference in the normal output of this show.
Yeah.
See, is Guy crazy this week or not? Who can
How
say?
do we know? Yeah.
We don't know. We don't know.
Folks, I'd know.
After 10 plus years, yeah, you would be the person to know. All right, and we have one other comment that I'm going to have to edit in post-production, but it is a good comment.
Hey, what the fuck was up with the opening credits? I almost switched podcast. I didn't know what the hell one it was. I'm calling from my vehicle on the way home with the air conditioning on, so I hope it doesn't sound like shit. And the microphone I'm using is a JBL Go 2 because it's internal to the little speaker that I have Bluetooth connected in my vehicle because my tape deck doesn't work anymore. And I have to listen to podcasts through that.
Brilliant.
So I've called in before using my Motorola. I think it's a deck. I don't remember. It's a piece of crap, and it gets too hot and it stops working. All that shit. So I ended up getting a good deal on this, and I think it's great. And I think the show is great, and everybody should listen to the show. And you should be about the parts that I said that you should be about. And have a good day. And you know who this is. Goodbye.
Well,
we do know.
Yeah,
we do know who this is.
Can we say, person who we know who you are? I didn't ask for you all to start sending in what damn mics you use. It's enough that I hear that Guy's using a different mic each week. I don't need to know what all of the mics you're using as well. Thanks for the comment.
Thank you, Marcus. The part of that cracked me up was when he said his tape deck in the car isn't working anymore.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah, that was funny.
You know, maybe I'm crazy.
Yeah.
You can replace the stereo in your car.
No. Now, apparently we got some email feedback as well, I see.
Oh, I didn't know about this. You didn't tell me. Read it, please.
Well, I didn't put it in. Are you sure this isn't an old one?
I don't know where we are here in the show. I've completely lost my place.
Oh,
no, we have not spoken of this one.
Right.
Okay. All right. All right. So this is an email. All right. Hold on. Stop. Rewind. Guy's losing his mind.
Now, the thing is, if you had a tape deck, you'd be able to rewind.
Yeah. Everything would be fine. And because of who this is from, I had to find something first, and I have found it.
Okay.
So this is an email, and we haven't done this in a long time.
No.
From a certain person with mymac.com.
This is Wob Bud. Messages. We don't need no stinking messages.
So Wob writes,
yes.
Hi guys, thanks for the recommendation of Resident Alien. I did hear of that show before, but your well-reasoned erudite review.
Erudite
thank you. Well, let's start that again. But your well-reasoned
erudite
review prompted me to dig further. Hope to see you and Gaz at the next in-person Mac Stock, which we'll also talk about in just a second. Enjoy. You wouldn't think that words were hard for me, but they are. Yeah. Enjoy your trip to Ohio. Will you be going to the microphone warehouse sale again? I wish I was. All right. Couple things to go into with this email.
Actually, Bob, he actually went to Jefferson County.
What?
Jefferson County.
What's
I'm going to leave that. I'm going to leave that there. I'm going to leave.
Oh, wait. Oh, that's where the Waltons live. I bet that's where the Waltons live. Okay.
Well,
right.
well remembered.
Yeah. Well, because I had talked about how much I was enjoying Resident Alien as the TV show, and I still am. I think they're in hiatus right now until the next season, but I've really enjoyed that show.
Where is that? People tell
Resident
me that a
Alien?
lot, and I'd love to know where that is. No,
I watch it. Oh, hiatus.
Yeah, where is that exactly?
It's in the mountains, so it's actually called Atis.
Right.
But because of where it's located, they call it
high.
hiatus.
Okay.
And that's all completely on the cuff. I've made that up entirely.
Really? Really?
Yes, I know. Crazy. Isn't that just crazy?
Crazy talk.
Now, I did get a message from Mike Potter concerning the next Mac Stock. Now, it's still going to be virtual.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be, and I got to look it up real quick. It's not going to be in. Come on, Apple.
It's not going to be in July.
It's not going to be in July.
It's going to be in February.
In September.
Oh, we missed it. September. Okay.
And
closer to the mic.
I know. I just had to find the email. Currently, it's planned for September 25th. Is the start date.
Cool.
And he doesn't have an end date here, but I imagine it's going to be 2 or 3 days, just like the in-person one is. And I know that David Ginsburg is planning on going to Woodstock, Illinois to give Mike a hand with all this stuff. And I'm also hoping that if things work out the way that I hope they will, that that I'll be able to go as well.
Cool.
And I would love to go, and because Mike works, and this isn't a joke, Mike works super, super hard at putting Mac Stock together, whether it was in person or like last year when it was virtual, or when it's also going to be virtual this year. And it's seriously, this is one of the best conference expos that I've attended in person. It's just been so great. The people are so great. And a lot of it's got nothing to do with how many people are there or even really the topics that are being covered. It's just the general nature of the attendees, of the people that are giving presentations, and just the overall camaraderie of everyone that's attending. It's just so wonderful.
Yeah.
So if you go to macstockconferenceandexpo.com, I think if you go to Macstock 2021, will that bring it up as well, Gaz? He's going to check. You going to check for me?
You want me to check? I'll check.
Yeah. Would you check that real quick? But that one of those should bring up other, and if not, macstockconferenceandexpo.com will.
If you go Macstock Expo conference, conference and expo, that should take you. But I think I'm just looking for Macstock 2020. Yeah. So Macstock conference and expo. But actually, I did a search in Google for Macstock 21, and it came up as one of the links. So
okay, but if you can, check out the information that's going to be coming up for the conference.
There's actually
in September.
also a YouTube. There's also a YouTube update. Macstock.
Oh, I haven't seen that yet.
And beyond YouTube. So,
yeah, grab a link for that and put that in the show notes. And I will include that in the links section.
Okay, cool.
So if you can, please go and check out macstockconferenceandexpo.com, all the information for the upcoming virtual show for this year. And hopefully we'll go back to it being in person for 2022. And hopefully Gaz will be able to make it. That would be great to see you again.
It would.
Here's the weird thing.
I possibly
for people
need some work.
Yeah, I know. Oh, is that a problem? For people who haven't been following the show for a very, very long time, Gaz and I have been doing this. When we say 10 plus years, we're not kidding. We've been doing this show for more than 10 years together. But we've only actually met one time.
Yep.
And that was like 6 years ago at the very first Macstock Conference and Expo in 2015.
Yep.
And I would love to have you come back and do it all over again.
I'd love to as well.
But yeah, I picked up. Was it you and who was the other person that was with you?
It was Screencast. I forgot his name.
Oh, Don McAllister.
Don McAllister. Crikey. Sorry,
yeah.
Don.
Yeah, I know. I was blanking on it too. I was going, Gaz will know. And then he didn't know.
The funny thing was, on that trip, when we were sat,
with his Liverpool accent, which is a
that was not
so bad.
That was a German accent. That was hey, calm down. No, that wasn't a Liverpool
Germans
accent.
trying to pretend like they're from Liverpool.
No, it wasn't.
So it's even harder.
In the airport in Manchester, when I came over with Don, we sat in a restaurant, just having some breakfast before we got on the plane, and because I actually went up and stayed with Don the night before because it was an early flight and we were flying over together, and there was a guy sat about 15 feet away, 20, 30 feet away, possibly to 15 to 20 feet away. And it was the spitting image of Johnny Ive. It absolutely was a spitting image of Johnny Ive. And I was not, Johnny Ive, shall I go over and ask for his autograph? I mean, it wasn't, but it would have been funny if it had been. Nearly,
you want to know what's even weirder?
What?
That first year, do you remember we were staying at the Hilton, I think, near Chicago?
Yes,
because it was relatively close to where the barbecue was going to be.
Yep.
And there was a guy that was sitting with us at the table at the Hilton that was the spitting image of Tim Cook.
Really?
You remember that?
Yeah. No, I don't, because I didn't go to that hotel.
If you look at pictures from the 2015 Macstock Conference and Expo, I think there's a picture of him there.
Right.
But I remember sitting at the table and going, God, this is only the first year and we got Tim Cook.
Mike would have loved that.
Yeah. Well, and we're going completely off.
We are. Carry on.
Topic here, but we're this is a random show this week.
It is.
So we're not kidding.
It's in the title. Clues in the name. I know. Clues in the name.
Now the other thing that let's dig way back into the Wayback Machine that Bob Wood asked was if I would be going to the microphone warehouse sale again. Unfortunately, Audio Technica no longer does the warehouse sales. I actually contacted them and asked them when they were going to do it again, and I got a prompt response that said, "Nope, no, not doing it anymore." No.
What they said was
no.
Exactly. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Long Dead Steve. We appreciate that. Now,
Long Dead Steve.
LDS.
Yeah.
That's his new name, LDS. And we miss him greatly, by the way.
Stop backtracking.
I know. I'm sorry. It's just the things that we say that I think are funny.
Whoa. The things that you say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
not
I
we,
think is funny.
Not we. The things we say. No, the things you say.
Right. But here you are.
Yeah, true. That's true. Yeah.
So, anyway, we're going to move away from all of that.
I've only got my own self to blame.
So if you after making fun of Steve Jobs, if you would still like to help contribute to my terrible habit of buying microphones, you can go to patreon.com/MacParrot. You can go to Coffee, ko-fi.com/MacParrot. You can also go to PayPal, paypal.me/MacParrot. Now, Gaz, if people wanted to get a hold of you, oh my God, how would they do it?
Easy. Send an email to gaz@mymac.com or an email. Is that a bit loud?
Yeah, it is a little loud.
Yeah, turn it down. Right, so just in case you didn't hear it, it's Gaz, GAZ@mymac.com, or on the Twitters, twitter.com/Gazmaz, GAZ. M-A-Z. And Guy couldn't say cars in the right moment because his little earpiece fell out again. You can also send a Twitter.
I'm in such terrible shape this week.
You are in terrible shape. You can also send a Twitter to both Guy and myself on the Twitters, twitter.com/Guy and Gaz, GUYANDGAZ.
Cars.
You can also send an email to feedback@mymac.com. That's FWDBACK. Now.
That's mymac.com.
Only a rat would shoot a guy in the back.
Guy was paid at 75 grand.
No.
You know it was a guy? I like to go with Guy.
Guy says,
pay no attention to that guy behind the curtain.
No fooling.
He's the guy.
His name was Guy.
Guy?
Killing me.
Guy's the one.
No fooling.
If anybody wants
An email from Guy.
how would they do it?
Oh, just go to guy@mymac.com. You can also reach me on the Twitters. I am Mac Parrot as well as Vert Shark. That's it. Stop right there. That's all we can do. Let's see. I've completely lost my place here, Gaz. You can also contact us.
Skype number.
The Skype number. The wonderful, wonderful Skype number that Greg and Marcus know how to use. So why don't you? All right. All you have to do is dial 1 or +1 outside the United States. Area code 703-436-9501. Or take that 1 and +1, toss it away, and just go 703-436-9501. And I've completely messed up the Skype bit, but that's okay. We're moving on from that anyway. It doesn't matter. Now, I would like to say to everyone listening, first, I'm so sorry for the randomness of this show, but sometimes that's just what you got to do.
It is.
It is. And I do appreciate the fact that you have downloaded and listened to the MyMac.com podcast. Both Gaz and I appreciate it very, very much. And finally, Gaz, I would like to say that I think that we're random enough. Yes, also random enough. And that random garnet, woof, 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 wilf, people randomness. Oh, nuts.
Per l'una économique de création de conduite en oj es confondre qui tous les acteurs tenant exit à l'escenario et à la pantalla no son. Guy, I bought my wife on an impulse purchase a revolving chair.
Okay, see, that sounds much better than saying you bought your wife as a random purchase and then stopped.
Yeah, okay. Well, now initially, Guy, she hated it. But eventually she came round. And...
So you can all go home and there's nothing to worry about. Get out of here now. Go on. Go on home and go home.